And we're talking about ways that we can build up the dog's self-esteem and respect for the humans. We just got done talking about teaching them new tricks or commands. I asked before we got into that is if the dogs nudge or scratch or whine at them for attention. And he likes to come and lean on people or insert his face like right here like he is. And she comes and whines. So basically when the dog does that, it's telling us what to do. Pet me, pay attention to me. And if every time that it does that we pet it, then we're telling the dog, yes, it's okay to tell the dog what to do or the human what to do, because when I tell the human what to do, they do it. So what I would suggest you do, instead of petting the dog next time it comes up and invades your personal space or nudges or whines at you, tell it to sit. As soon as he sits, then pet him and say sit. Just the word sit or crash or come or whatever your command word is, not good dog, not good sit. Oh, what a good dog, you sat down. The more words we use, the harder it is for them to understand. So we want to use just the command word. I say it twice. Sit. When he sits, I pet and say sit. That's it. Now, if I give a treat, the second the treat touches the dog's lips, they should hear the command word at the same exact time. Now, I like to actually hold the treat like here, so when the dog sits, I can lower it, let the dog lick it off my hand, and then scratch underneath simultaneously. So what will happen is after a while, the dog, instead of coming nudging you, is just going to come and start sitting in front of you saying, look, I'm sitting, shouldn't you be petting me? And we should, as much as we can. Now, sometimes you're going to be doing other things you won't, but we don't want the dog to revert and go back to whining or scratching at us. So after a while, it won't even wait for you to say it. It's just going to come up and sit in front of you and say, look, I'm sitting pretty. So for our guests, it's like the dog just comes and sits in front of me instead of jumping up on me. That's a much better behaved dog. Now, you won't realize how often you're petting your dogs. And a lot of us just pet our dogs for no reason whatsoever. If you have balanced dogs, there's nothing wrong with it. But we have dogs that don't respect or listen to us. Adding a little bit of structure by petting with a purpose can go a long ways towards helping them respect and listen to us a little bit better. So what I would suggest you do is stop petting them at all unless they sit, come, or lay down for you first, and then you immediately pet them for doing that. Now, after you start petting them, I can pet them for an hour after this if I want, but I'm not going to start until the dog does something for me. This creates a hierarchy, and it also helps the dog understand I can not tell the humans what to do, I can ask. But the only way I'm going to get my way is by paying them, and the way that I pay them is by using the currency of obedience. So if I go and sit in front of them or do another desired behavior, then the human gives me attention. That helps the dog practice these desired behaviors, so in the future when you ask the dog to come, it's conditioned to do so. You ask it to sit outside when there's another dog, that's a more challenging situation. But if we practice it a whole bunch inside when there's no dogs, that muscle memory will translate into more difficult situations and make it easier for the dog to sit down. Petting with a purpose is the most, it's going to give you the most bang for your buck. There's nothing else that you're going to do that's going to have your dog build up respect for your dog for so little effort. It's just going to take you about a week or two to get in the habit of doing it. But once you do, if you always get in the habit of going like this, sit, dog sits, and you pet it, after a while you can just go like this without even having to say the word sit. And I can have a conversation with a human here, tell the dog to sit, and have a conversation here simultaneously. And the best part of it is, once you get in the habit of doing this, every time you ask your dog to sit and then pet it afterwards, it's like a mini dog obedience training session that you engage in without spending any time or effort trying to do it.